Thank you for joining me. My name is Brandon, and I'd like to share a few thoughts about this passage in John. The story is the story of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. And it begins, just before the Passover feast, Jesus knew that his time had come to depart from this world to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he now loved them to the very end. And I love the way this story begins. Love is one of John's major themes. In 1 John 4, he tells us God is love. And earlier in the Gospel of John, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Now it's Thursday night, and Jesus is sharing this intimate celebration meal with his closest friends. And he knows that one of the men sitting at the table is going to betray him. He knows that this is his last day. And he has all these thoughts running through his mind. What would you do if you knew that you only had 24 hours left to live? Well, with these thoughts in his mind, Jesus takes the opportunity to love his friends, to teach them one last lesson about love. And in the middle of the meal, he stands up and he takes time to wash their feet. Judas is still in the room, and Jesus is showing love to him. When he had finished, he asked, "Do you understand what I have done for you? If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you too ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example. And if you understand these things, you will be blessed if you do them." And then later in the chapter, he concludes, "I give you a new commandment, to love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. Everyone will know by this that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." And so I'd like to just leave you with this question. What will you do with what you've read today? Have you understood the lesson? And will you do it? Are you living a life that others recognize clearly, without a doubt, as a model of God's love for them?